it just seems really weird to me that I'm going to review another one of these True Believers books, but this is a lot of fun, and this is the kind of comic I wish we got more of. Not the What If, the contents of the What If. You can see it on the cover. So, Fantastic Four. Reed Richards has the power of super science, but he's also a stretchy guy. She can turn invisible and project force fields. He's tough, and he's like, a danger fanatic that flies and is on fire. But if they don't get their powers, what are they? People with just what they come to naturally. And what do they come to naturally? I'm going to go ahead. Here we go. So they're exploring because Mole Man's doing the thing Mole Man does. He's trying to take over the world. Ben Grimm is trying to fight the monsters. This is what Ben does. He protects people. Ben Grimm has like the biggest heart in the Marvel Universe. He protects people. If you are weak, and it doesn't matter what you're fighting, the ever-loving blue-eyed thing, is going to be there to help you no matter what. Anybody who writes him different than that, I think fundamentally misunderstands the character. And we get a lot of that in here. Mr. Fantastic. He's Mr. Scientist. He's quick thinking. He learns how to do things. Like here. He's figured out how to control this thing. Now, it all kind of went bad for them. But he figured out how to control this, cart thing that the Mole Man had built in his underground tunnels. He just intuitively knew how to do it. That's Reed Richards. All right, let's come over here. It's Ben and Sue. I actually really like these outfits, although Ben's cap just changed colors. He's purple, blue, purple. Art mistake. That kind of thing happens. That kind of thing happens. But you can see like their archetypical roles in the team without their powers. Keep firing, Susie. We got to hold them back. Ben Grimm is protecting her. But the more we destroy, the more appear. It's as if they're forming out of the rock itself. How can we hope to? Ben! And so he's concentrated on protecting her. But she is observant. And so she uses that innate skill, the ability to observe things, the ability to have empathy, to keep an eye out and find a way. And so they get out. They escape into these little tunnels. Let's go ahead just to the next page. So there's Reed and there's Johnny. And the Mole Man's explaining his plan. And so now Johnny is the hothead. He immediately gets into a fight because that's what Johnny does. He's like, oh no, you're not going to take over the world. I'm Johnny Storm and I'm going to beat the crap out of you with a stick. He doesn't manage it. But while Johnny's doing that, Reed is thinking. He's like, must think. Reed Richards, robot, must think. And he's like, control panel of a thermonuclear device. How can you recognize that? Like, I looked at this and I thought that was an old reel-to-reel tape machine. So anyway, they get there. Ben Grimm protects everybody. Crack shot. It's a great exploration of these characters. It's a great science adventure. I think these would be fantastic characters to have in a book where you have these four normal people who sometimes have crazy super science on their side, and they live in this crazy world full of magic and monsters and superheroes and whatever else you can think of, but they themselves don't have power. That would be a fun book. But Marvel has always hated their science adventurers. Well, maybe not always, but like a lot of the times. Hank Pym has been hated. That's why they sent him spiraling into depression. That's why Hank Pym has like 500 different superhero identities. The Fantastic Four has been hated like since the 90s, it feels like, because Marvel doesn't know how to write them anymore. So they just basically killed their comic. They made them the Future Foundation for a while. Do you remember that? That was like 10 years ago. Then they just didn't have a comic. It's the Fantastic Four, the first family of comics. The world's greatest comic magazine. Like, do you guys not understand this? Spider-Man's important. The X-Men are important. You know what else is important? The Fantastic Four. Those are like the pillars that built Marvel. Sure, the Avengers were cool, but growing up in the 80s, man, I'm telling you, when I was a kid, maybe I'm just projecting my personal taste here, but in the 80s and early 90s, the books I went to were Spider-Man, because I could relate to him. Fantastic Four, because it filled me with a sense of wonder. And I knew they were good people. Like, even when they had their disputes among each other, like Ben and Johnny trying to kill each other constantly, Ben loves Johnny Storm, and he wouldn't actually hurt him. Like, not for real, you know? And then the X-Men, you know, who doesn't like the X-Men from the 90s? A bunch of misfits that don't fit in anywhere. So having a team of science adventurers like this could have been a really fun thing. And I'm surprised, but not really surprised, that Marvel never wrote something like this. You could have an an alt-universe title, an ongoing about the Fantastic Four without superpowers. I think it would sell like hotcakes, man. I really do. Or at least it would have 20, 30 years ago. These days, with the way comic books sell, maybe you'll move 8,000 units. And who can live on that? Who can live on that? We get like, what, 10 cents an issue or something? Like that's, as the writer, that would be like pitiful wages. I know that's not how comics pay scales work, but I think you understand my point. Like, it just wouldn't sell enough to really be worth it as a career. And it's a shame. It's a shame. These are wonderful characters, and this book is one of the best expressions of these people as who they are. I think, anyway. I think. Very classic read. I'll see you all next time. This was a great book. This was a really great book. Until next time, bye-bye.